Tonight, a third-grade class gets a dramatic lesson in discrimination.
Blue-eyed people are smarter than brown-eyed people. People, they are more civilized than brown-eyed people.
Russell called me names and I hate him.
What did he call you?
Brown eyes.
Tonight on Frontline, the story of one teacher, her lesson, and what happened to a class divided.
From the network of public television stations, a presentation of KCTS Seattle, WNET New York, WPBT Miami, WTVS Detroit, and WGBH Boston. This is Frontline with Judy Woodruff.
Good evening. It was the day after Martin Luther King Jr. was killed in 1968. A class of third graders in a rural Iowa town came to school upset and confused. Dr. King had been their hero of the month the previous February. The children couldn't understand why he had been murdered. So their teacher, Jane Elliott, tried a daring exercise to teach them a lesson about discrimination she hoped they would never forget. What those children learned and how it changed their lives is our story tonight. A Class Divided is produced and directed by William Peters, who first covered this story for ABC News in 1970. A few months ago, Peters returned to Riceville, Iowa, to a reunion of Jane Elliott's third graders to answer the question of whether, after 15 years, her students would still feel the sting of their first lesson in discrimination. Our reporter for Frontline is Charlie Cobb.
August 1984. A high school reunion brings some 50 former students to Riceville, Iowa. 11 of them, some with their spouses and children, arrive early for a special reunion with their former third-grade teacher, Jane Elliott.
And this is my husband to you. This is my husband, Tom. Tom, Brian.
I don't have one.
How are you? Oh, you're fine. I'm just Roy Wilson.
I made it.
You darling. Oh,
Been a
Roy.
long time.
Oh,
Been here in
I'm so
14
glad
years.
To see you.
I didn't think I would. How are you doing?
Fine.
A long time since I've seen you.
Yeah, it has been. Where are your little ones? They're at home with Mom.
It's coming down.
And this is your husband. Yeah, that's Mr. Greg Rowling. Greg Rowling. Nice to meet you.
14 years earlier, when they were students in her third-grade classroom, ABC News filmed a 2-day exercise for a documentary, The Eye of the Storm. Now, at their request, they will see that film again and relive the experience of her unique lesson in discrimination.
Okay. This is a special week. Does anybody know what it is?
National Brotherhood.
National Brotherhood Week. What's Brotherhood?
Be kind to your brother. Be kind.
Okay, be kind to your brothers.
Like you would like to be treated.
Treat everyone the way you would like to be treated. Treat everyone as though he was your brother. And is there anyone in this United States that we do not treat as our brothers?
Yes.
Who?
Yeah.
The black people. Who else? Absolutely, the Indians. And when many people see a black person or a yellow person or a red person, what do they think?
Look at that. Dumb people.
They look at the dumb people. What else do they think sometimes? What kinds of things do they say about black people?
Call them niggers.
In the city, many places in the United States, how are black people treated? How are Indians treated? How are people who are of a different color than we are treated?
They're part of this world. They don't get anything in this world.
Why is that?
Because they're different colors.
You think you know how that would feel to be judged by the color of your skin?
Yeah.
Do you think you do? No, I don't think you'd know how that felt unless you had been through it, would you? It might be interesting to judge people today by the color of their eyes. Would you like to try this?
Yeah.
Sounds like fun, doesn't it? Since I'm the teacher and I have blue eyes, I think maybe the blue-eyed people should be on top the first day.
Up here?
I mean, the blue-eyed people are the better people in this room. Oh, yes, they are. Blue-eyed people are smarter than brown-eyed people.
My dad isn't that stupid.
Is your dad brown-eyed?
Yeah.
One day you came to school and you told us that he kicked you.
He did.
Do you think a blue-eyed father would kick his son?
Yeah. My
dad's blue-eyed. He's never kicked me. Greg's dad is blue-eyed. He's never kicked him. Rex's dad is blue-eyed. He's never kicked him. This is a fact. Blue-eyed people are better than brown-eyed people. Are you brown-eyed or blue-eyed?
Blue.
Why are you shaking your head?
I don't know.
Are you sure that you're right?
I don't know what's going on. He don't know what he is.
Why? What makes you so sure that you're right?
I don't know.
The blue-eyed people get 5 extra minutes of recess, while the brown-eyed people have to stay in. The brown-eyed people do not get to use the drinking fountain. You'll have to use the paper cups. You brown-eyed people are not to play with the blue-eyed people on the playground because you are not as good as blue-eyed people. Well, the brown-eyed people in this room today are going to wear collars so that we can tell from a distance what color your eyes are.
I am.
On page 127.
100?
Yeah, this is Jane Elliott. She's trying to teach
127.
white
Is everyone
kids
ready?
how to understand racism, but
Everyone but Laurie.
I just put this
Ready,
on.
Laurie?
I got my shit together.
Brown-eyed.
She's a brown-eyed.
Well, we're gonna get into
You'll
this
begin
and
to
talk
notice
about
today
that.
that we spend a great deal
Another
of time
time.
waiting for
This is
brown-eyed
scalpel.
people. The yardstick's gone. Well, okay. I don't see the yardstick. Do you?
It's probably over there. Hey, Miss Lake, you better keep that on your desk so if the brown-eyed people get out of hand.
Oh! You think if the brown-eyed people get out of hand, that would be the thing to use? Who goes first to lunch?
Blue-eyed.
The blue-eyed people. No brown-eyed people go back for second.
Here on Channel 13, we presented a 5-part series. Their story of hatred for the white man is carried in many Negro newspapers. Here you see their minister, Malcolm X, proudly displaying 5 of the biggest Negro papers in America. Papers published in Los Angeles, New York, Pittsburgh, Detroit, and Newark. Negro politicians, regardless of their private beliefs, listen when the leaders of the black supremacist movement speak. Here you see Manhattan Borough President Hewlett Jack shaking hands with Elijah Muhammad, the leader of the Muslims. And here is City Councilman Earl Brown addressing a Muslim rally. 4 or 5 times a year, the Muslims assemble in one of America's major cities to hear their leader, Elijah Muhammad. This coming Sunday afternoon, they will gather at New York's St. Nicholas Arena to hear him. But here, you see them arriving at Washington's Uline Arena for a meeting they held just 6 weeks ago. Every devout Muslim is eager to attend these meetings. For some time between now and 1970, and at just such a rally as this, the Muslim leader has intimated that he will give the call for the destruction of the white man. As you will see, every precaution is taken to protect their leader at these meetings. The Muslims, both men and women, submit themselves to a complete search before they finally enter the meeting hall. Some 10,000 persons attended the rally that you see here. All of them were searched. That's a search going on here. This process began 3 hours before the meeting started. And shortly, you will see Elijah Muhammad, founder and spiritual leader of the group. His flock is waiting for him now. And finally, here comes their spiritual leader, Elijah Muhammad. He's actually Elijah Poole of Hawkinsville, Georgia. During World War II, Muhammad was arrested and charged with sedition and draft dodging. The Department of Justice finally dropped the charge that he had advocated defeat of the white democracies and victory for the colored Japanese. But Muhammad and his followers did serve time in the federal penitentiary for refusing to register for the draft. Here you will hear Elijah Muhammad introduced by Minister Malcolm X, the Muslims' New York leader and ambassador at large for the movement. The good news that Minister X talks about here is the coming rise of the black man and the fall of the white man.
Everyone who is here today realizes that we are now living in the fulfillment of prophecy. Right. We have come to hear and to see the greatest and the wisest and most fearless black man in America today. In the church, we used to sing the song, "Good news, the chariot is coming." Is that right or wrong? But what we must bear in mind, that what's good news to one person is bad news to another. While you sit here today, knowing that you have come to hear good news, you must realize in advance what's good news for you might be bad news for somebody else. What's good news for the sheep might be bad news to the wolf.
The good news for the black man is that he is on the verge of recapturing his position as ruler of the universe. The bad news for the white man is that his long and wicked reign will shortly be over. And following this introduction, Elijah Muhammad, leader of the Muslims, speaks.
The Christian religion has failed. Your leaders of that religion has failed. Now the government of America has failed you. You have no justice coming from no one. Whereas it is written, like sheep among wolves. Every wolf taken up by them. You want justice. You want freedom. You want equality. But get none.
Following this speech, which lasted some 2 hours, Newsbeat reporter Louis Lomax interviewed Elijah Muhammad, the spiritual leader of the Muslims.
Although you have said that the white race is doomed and that they are a race of devils, do you make any distinction? Are there any good white people? For example, suppose I were to ask you who you think is the best white man. Is there any such thing?
Let the Bible answer that. He says, no, not one is good.
Now, if I have understood your teachings correctly, you teach that all of the members of Islam are God, and that one among you is supreme, and that one is Allah. Now, have I understood you correctly?
That's right.
Now, you have on the other hand said that Allah has taught you that the devil is the white man, that the white man is a doomed race.
Yes.
Am I correct there, sir?
Yes.
Now you have said, sir, that between now and approximately 1970, there should come a reawakening,
a general resurrection
of the American Negro.
That's right.
And that the extended time for the white man may well run out, and that will come, and in terms of a war between God and the devil, this coming destruction of the white man. Will there be any bloodshed involved in this, or will it be a complete mental thing?
According to the teachings of the prophets of old and of God himself, there will be plenty of blood shed. Plenty of it.
Have you ever been accused, sir, of preaching hate?
Yes.
Do you think you are preaching hate?
No.
What are you preaching, sir?
Truth.
And if the truth is irritable or
classified as hate, then I cannot help that.
But of even more interest to New Yorkers is Malcolm X, the Muslims' New York minister. He is a remarkable man, a man who, by his own admission, was once a procurer and dope peddler. He served time for robbery in the Michigan and Massachusetts state penitentiaries. But now he's a changed man. He will not smoke or drink. He will not even eat in a restaurant that houses a tavern. He told Newsbeat that his life changed for him when the Muslim faith taught him no longer to be ashamed of being a black man. Reporter Louis Lomax asked Minister Malcolm X to further explain the Muslim teachings of Elijah Muhammad.
that in the same context that Mr. Elijah Muhammad teaches that his faith, that the Islamic faith is for the black man and that the black man is good. He also uses the Old Testament instance of the serpent and Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and
man, I was trying to find this one why Malcolm X was killed, child. I know that was all right there, but that ain't exactly what the fuck I was looking for. That's what I want. That's the part I want to touch on, like why Malcolm X was killed, y'all. I watched that video, and I wanted y'all to check it out. Man, it was pretty interesting to me, man. But shit, I thought I downloaded it, but I didn't. And I thought that was pretty deep. Why they killed Brother Malcolm. I know a bunch of people have Malcolm X was a macaroni too. Nine, what's happening? You say Malcolm X was a macaroni. Man, my question of the day really is like, man, who are we? That's what I want to put in there. Like, exactly who are we? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people have their own interpretation of who we are. So I ran across a couple of videos and stuff, you know, that made me think about that, us in America. Because everybody got a different name or a different identity for us. But I'm like, damn, who the fuck are we? Actually, ask me if you want to know the truth. I say we mutts, man. But we got so much history that we don't tap into. Exactly who the fuck are we? I seen so much stuff like us trying to reclaim my history. Man, what's no That's a great question, man. There's so much information to. I like to get other people's point on it. Who is the Negro, y'all? As they call him. That's what I want to know. That's my question. Hear me out right quick, y'all. I'm going to put this on to give us a little starting point to talk about. Who is the Negro?
Egyptologists and anthropologists, archaeologists of the Eurocentric persuasion will say that Egypt is in Africa. They had to concede that, but then they still draw the line by saying that they weren't Africans like that. In other words, they weren't dark-skinned people. And of course, this is all part of the Great Deception. And the reality is that if they give up Egypt, ancient Kemet, if they give that up and say that that was a part of Black Africa, then they will also have to give up Israel. And that's why they draw the line at Egypt, because if they give up Egypt, they've got to give up Israel.
Now, we're going to go over here, and I'm going to show you where Israel sits on the African tectonic plate, which means that Israel is northeast Africa. Now, when we look at this map, this is the
This exclusive right here, y'all. I really doubt if you meet any people who say that they are Hebrew Israelite, but they anti-African, they not gonna show you this right here, man. You hear me? They not gonna show you this point right here. With shut up, Spirit. You watch this. I seen this right here. I say, damn, I thought they said Israel wasn't in Africa. That's how you know they never been there, because they would have seen what this elder seen right here. Tony Pope, what's happening? Let me take this back one time on y'all.
Draw the line at Egypt, because if they give up Egypt, they've got to give up Israel.
Now, we're going to go over here, and I'm going to show you where Israel sits on the African tectonic plate, which means that Israel is northeast Africa. Now, when we look at this map, this is the Sinai. Okay?
That's like right there, Martish.
The Red Sea. This is Egypt. This is the Sinai. This is Israel. All right? This is Saudi Arabia over here. Now, if you see this in Hebrew, it says Haluach Afrikani, the African plate. Here it is right here. Israel is sitting right here. Israel is sitting on the Haluach Afrikani, which means that Israel is northeast Africa.
A system built to divide and impoverish and destroy us cannot stand if we do. All right? It's kind of basic mathematics. The more we learn about who we are and how we got here, the more we will mobilize.
It is better for us to go to our own schools, and after we have a thorough knowledge of ourselves, of our own kind, and racial dignity has been instilled within us, then we can go to anyone's school and we'll still retain our race pride, our racial dignity, and we will be able to avoid the subservient inferiority complex that most Negroes have, or that is instilled within most Negroes who receive this sort of integrated education.
Isn't new. It's just forming because you, as God's people, are starting to say, let us go. And we, as white men, are refusing to do so. Therefore, we must put into power a man that will protect us so we can remain in control. But however, if you continue to read in Exodus chapter 5 and then go into Exodus chapter 6, then the Lord told Moses, now you will see that I will do to Pharaoh. When he feels the force of my strong hand, he will let my people go. In fact, he will force them to leave his land. Therefore, now I say this to you, my black brothers and sisters. Therefore, God said, say to the people of Israel, I am the Lord. I will free you from your oppression, and I will rescue you from your slavery in Egypt, your slavery here in America. I will redeem you with a powerful arm and great acts of judgment. I will claim you as my own people, and I will be your God. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God, who has freed you from your oppression in Egypt, from your oppression in America. And I will bring you into the land I swore to give Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I will give it to you as your very own possession.
You're going too far now,
I am.
Hey,
you shall have no power to stand before your enemies.
Hey, I was trying to work with him. That nigga started going too far, man. Let me see. So let your people go. Yeah, hold on, man. I got something I seen the other day, man. And I be tripping off the arguments, these debates, but I don't know if this, what's the guy named Tahuti Rodman kept something, I forgot, but he was debating this other guy, Caremio, and I had checked out a couple of their information, but I want to show y'all how, I ain't thinking about no damn Bible. I want to show y'all just some of the videos I had saved this to show, like some of the stuff I be running across, and like how some of these guys be losing people. Yeah, he was going too goddamn far. He was getting too religious with me, and niggas started making my head hurt. I want to show y'all this video, man. I caught this. And these dudes be coming up with some creative lies. And they'll trick people. Who show was I watching? Guy one of the he used to be with the Wu-Tang Clan. Damn, what's his name? I think of his shit when I find the thing. Can't believe I can't think of the big homie name, man. He got a little podcast. It be kind of bumping too. Damn, what's his name? Killer Priest. Yeah, man, I caught this right here on Killer Priest show. Kenny said, what up, though? Met the man Raekwon Ghostface. Nah, Morticia, you was on it, though. Killer Priest show. But I think you're gonna love this. Yeah, I seen Raz was on there. Hey, spiritual. You know, I met Raz for real in person a long time ago, man. We chopped it up, but this was when this some Caremio, some dude. This is like, I think he's like Mexican or something, but he go with a black girl and he be trying to tell all of us that we the real Indians and all of that shit. But I'm gonna let y'all be the judge of it. I don't even want to talk too much.
That fun part is over. Okay. So here's what I saw, and here's I'm gonna play this. Is screen sharing, right?
I feel like this is how you're supposed to check and read these motherfuckers, y'all. I follow dude on social media and shit. He has classes on YouTube on Fridays. He seemed like he has some legit information.
This is him talking.
But y'all watch this and tell me. We're gonna talk about this when y'all finish.
In the middle of
tell me what y'all think.
Challenge out. He said, just debunk 1 minute of what I say, because I noticed that as he was talking, he wouldn't present anything.
The sound and everything good, y'all.
That's all he kept saying.
And then when Killer Priest said, how long is the video? He's like 2 to 5 hours. So who's gonna watch 2 to 5 hours in the middle of somebody else's show?
Thanks.
So here's what he
let me know the sound good to you. I'll give you a thumbs up.
Here's what he said. I'll play this.
I love Wu-Tang too. Spiritual, can you hear him? It sounds great. I just want y'all to watch how creative these dudes be with their lives, y'all. And this dude got all his followers too, man. He got about 100,000 followers off live, y'all.
And Killer Priest, respect to KP through the whole show. KP did not get disrespectful. He actually kept saying, "Let's stop. Let's reset. Let's calm it down."
Yeah.
He even told Rasul, "We're not going to do it today. We're not going." He even said for you to calm down, and the guy still was a little aggressive even after the show. He's making videos. So if anybody, for those who didn't hear that, he said clearly, go to my videos, debunk 1 minute, challenge, debunk 1 minute.
Please take notes.
Find something wrong in the videos.
Right
he would not present what was in the videos, but
like I be hearing, they be saying like people be talking about some damn turtle islands and all this stuff. It'd be good to people that don't know what's going on, but let me just let this play so we can talk about it.
He said, go back to the videos and find something. So here is here's his YouTube channel right here. And here's one of his videos right at the top.
This how you actually, do that.
a video called The True Origin of the Name America. So here he's attempting to give the origin of the name America, and then it says Tamaray, Egypt is America. Tamaray.
If somebody believes,
already over here.
I hit the
He
wrong
said,
thing.
go back to the videos and
If one of y'all believe in this stuff, I don't mean no harm. I don't mean to break y'all heart. I'm just giving the true facts.
And here's one of his videos right at the top. It's actually a video called The True Origin of the Name America. So here he's attempting to give the origin of the name America.
Okay, give it to
and then
him
he
then.
says Tamaray, Egypt is America. Tamaricans. Okay, that's so he said debunk one video, just 1 minute. So I took a minute. And here is, I'm going to play this. This is the beginning of his the video here.
All right, so now we're in this website. It's from the Museum of Agropolis. It's a French, museum of agriculture, Agropolis. And it says here, Egypt was called by its people to marry. Again, Egypt was called by its people to marry, not by Greeks, Romans, or white Europeans, or other, people that are not from that region or from this culture, civilization. Again, the people who are actually from this culture and civilization, they called it to marry, meaning the beloved land.
Oh, did they?
Which is cultivated by the hoe, whatever that means. There were other descriptive names of Egypt, such as Ta'ankh, meaning the land of blood, fertile soil, Kemet, fertile soil, black soil. You know we have black and fertile soil here in America, very abundantly.
Okay, so I like that face. So, he goes on, but just that's about a minute. That was a minute and 19 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, challenge, debunk 1 minute.
Right.
Right? So, you notice here that he says something about the hoe. And I'm going to start with this. Right here. He says,
culture, civilization. Again, the people who are actually from this culture and civilization, they called it to marry, meaning the beloved land, which is cultivated by the hoe, whatever that means.
Okay.
There were other descriptions.
Okay. See?
We'll get back into this.
Yeah, come on back.
It's about to be on.
Okay, so he starts off. So I saw that part of the video, and I say here, Kurimio displays his ignorance of culture mixed with high school immaturity by snickering at not even knowing what a cultivating hoe is, which ironically is a farming tool that is the base of his whole claim. Not knowing what this tool is the exact premise of his ignorance. So he starts off immature, and this immaturity actually overrid the base of his argument. So he started laughing and saying, a cultivating hoe, haha, whatever that is. Right? Because in 2000 and this day and time,
because he's
a
dumb.
hoe
That's
is used
dumb,
for a promiscuous woman.
Right.
Right? But here's a hoe on Lowe's, and this is a hoe, which is actually the cultivating tool. And this here is the cultivating tool that it was talking about. When we go back to over here, this is plate 34 of the Per Em Haru. The Per Em Haru, which is the oldest known spiritual book on the planet of the afterlife, or how to have an out-of-body experience, or how to be immortal. The oldest book is called the Per Em Haru. Whites call it the Book of the Dead. This dates back to 1250 BCE.
And these books
back
are
to what's
older
called
than
the
the
Papyri
Bible.
of Ani. So here, when I expand the Papyri of Ani, you'll see right here.
Some people probably don't even know they got books older than the damn Bible.
This is the cultivating hoe. This right here. This is what's placed behind a cow. Farmers place it, and it digs into the ground, and it causes lines in the ground so that the next machine can come and plant seeds. right? This is the cultivating hoe. This is the thing that he's laughing at. The fact that he laughed at this, it blinded him to what Mary even meant. So here is, these are ancient cultivating hoes.
Come on, Ty Mary,
right here. And you can find these in the museum.
Ancient cultivating hoes.
Ancient cultivating hoes.
Ancient hoes.
Yes, the oldest of the hoes. So you can find these in the
area code.
You can find these in the Livorno Museum. And like I told people before, it's the symbol of the plow, symbol of fertility, male fertility. And it's a symbol of the farmer. The farmer was the first man known in ancient times to be able to take care of his family and the whole civilization, because he was the one that provided the fruits, vegetables, and he was the one that controlled the
break it down, though. Tahiti Almond Hotel, y'all even break it down
for the whole community. And people always ask me, why do I have my beard shaped like this, and why do men wear the goatee on the side of their face? And if you walk up to the average brother and ask him why does he shape his beard in that shape, he doesn't know it actually comes from this word. This word is actually Marie. This is the word that he's laughing at. This is the word that when you see the pharaohs and you see them have the false beard, they call it, when you go to the barber and you ask them for this hairstyle in the beard, you ask for a chin strap. Right? A chin strap insinuates that it was something that's placed on. It was an actual strap to form the shape of the cultivating hoe. So the ancient pharaohs would wear this chin strap with the beard, because the long beard coming down like this and the sides coming down like this imitated the shape of the word Marie, which is what farmers used to prove that they were a man, so that they could support their family and so they could support the whole community. It was called a Marie, the plow. You would plow into the earth. This is where the concept came from, that the woman was earth and you plant your seed, because the plow was digging what was called a dike. And now today a dike is a woman who likes women, but in ancient times a dike was actually the role that this machine made to plant the seeds in. It was pulled by the bull. Right. So today they just took the same fertility symbols and biological imperative symbols, and they took those two words together. The bull that was pulling this to make the dike, and now that became a word that represented women that only like women. They take the man out, and that becomes now the bull dike.
Wow.
So this is the thing that made the dike, and this is the cultivating hoe that he was actually laughing at, that he has no idea that this is actually what formed the word Mary.
I love the way he broke it down to him.
And now we see on the screen, Camario Ahua tries to tie Tamaray with America. The mirror in the word for Kemet and Tamaray, because actually two words, ta, which means land, and Mary, which means attraction or water, is the Kemetic tool used for farming, the Itaru, which is the Nile. This is the tool what was cultivated by which is why this article says it was the cultivating hoe. If Karimio Ahu knew anything about Kemet and the importance of this tool and is tied to the word Tamaray, he would never have made this foolish claim. Here we are now on page 308 of the Ancient Egyptian Dictionary, and you can actually see the word that I'm going to expand on the screen, and it's the word Mer. This is the word that created the word. This is the word that's inside the word Mary that created the word Tamaray. And as you can see, the word Mer, I'm going to move my mouse over the over what I have here squared in red, and this is the Mari. That's the cultivating hoe. And the actual word Marie was tied into water. Why? Because the farmer was waiting. There was three seasons that was in to KP through the whole show.
God damn it.
KP. So you can find these in the
area code.
Before there was area code. You can find these in. They were a man, so that they could support their family, and so they could support with America. The mirror in the word for Kemet and Tamaray, because actually two words, ta, which means land, and Mary, which means attraction or water, is the Kemetic tool used for farming, the Itaru, which is the Nile. This is the tool. Why? Because the farmer was waiting. The plow was actually associated with water, and it was called the Mari. These words come from this word Marie, which is water. You can literally look at the Medunetter and see the cultivating hoe and the water, and see that it dealt with the ejaculating penis, because right beside the water is a penis erect and ejaculating. that was a fertility symbol, because it was a cultivating hole that represented the penis that went into the earth, that dug out.
Go ahead. Somehow it just said.
It always goes back. This is what it is. It's sex magic. I mean, this is what the
right.
Yeah, this all the cultures are based on sex.
Right.
So the cultivating hole would dig out. It would symbolize the ejaculating penis, and that's why when you see the word myrrh, it was a collection of water. The canal, right?
Right.
So the canal, and so they took this word myrrh, and this is where they created the word Mary from. So Mary now becomes the mother of Jesus. And when you look in the Hebrew word for water, it's the word yam. Yam actually came from the ancient Sugagi word, or what the whites call the Sumerians. Yam was the word for water. And they took the word Mary and put it in front of yam, and that became the word Miriam. And so when you look at Miriam in Hebrew, it means bitter water, or a type of water that comes out of a woman's vagina that is not as it's a little bit more bitter than than regular water. It's associated with salt water. Is that true, Mink? I don't know, but I don't know. But it's bitter.
Why you throw me in that
I don't know.
man?
You started this. I don't know. You're part of the class.
Yeah.
But so it's called. It's salt water.
Well, if you ask me for my humble opinion, I would have to say that. No, I'm just
okay. So that that became the salt water, and that became the symbol of Miriam, and then Miriam became Jesus' mother, the virgin who had her water broke, which is associated with the plow, which is associated with the harvest season. Which
what I was trying to say to y'all is like this is like what I call going backwards, going back and Sankofa, going back and giving back what you haven't been told. And it's funny because I hear a lot of people give their little ideas of how stuff go, but watch this. Hey, Brenda, get your fun ass already laughing at somebody. Yeah, I know I'll be high tripping, but watch this. I love the way he's breaking this down because I swear to God, I don't mean to be funny, y'all, but these fake Aboriginals, these fucking fake wannabe Indians, these all of these bullshit, you name it, all these fake ass belief systems, I'll be banging on all of them. Even the people that be too motherfucking African and too Egyptian, I bang on all that because we got to be who we really are, man.
Became associated with the Virgo star constellation. When they created astrology, they started naming it after the Virgo and actually put the symbol as the letter M with the Vesica Pisces there. Huh? Oh, yeah. Right. He likes it, yeah. So that became the Virgo, and then Virgo became the Virgin, and Mary becomes a virgin in the story.
Everybody not salty
from these ancient words. Here is the symbol in the Louvre Museum. That's the Marie symbol right there, and here is the word myrrh.
I thought you wanted. Oh.
Here's the word myrrh. Now, when you look at myrrh. Myrrh is the canal, of course. It's the water canal.
Showing you where the Egyptian time Mary comes from.
Is the water canal. It's also the Nile flood water.
In case y'all didn't
Myrrh
catch it.
is the goddess of inundation. The goddess of inundation. Myrti. When you add the letter T to a word, it makes it feminine, and T also dualizes, so it's Myrti, and that becomes now two goddesses because it represented Asar's two wives or two mates. I don't like the word wives, but his two goddesses, and that was Aset and Nebtet. Right? And that's when you blow this up, you'll see that it's two goddesses, and I'm going to wave my mouse over there, and there's two goddesses. This does not correlate to anything happening in Native America. There is no Native American story of two goddesses that was married to one man that represented resurrecting him and represented the flood. He has to parallel, if the word Marie from Tamari became Tamarika, then he has to parallel the stories, which he can't. So here is the... Here is some more of the Meri symbols, or the gardening, the farmer's tool, and so that is that. And now we go to the Per Emharu on plate 34. I put the date here this time because I want everybody to see that if you make a claim, this is why a lot of religious people don't like to debate me because I talk a lot about dates. And once you talk about dates, then you can trace things back to the origins. Once you trace things back to the origin, then you realize that you, religious person, weren't even there. You weren't there, Jehovah's Witness, in 1250 BC. Seventh-day Adventist, Pentecostal, Muslim. You weren't there in 1250 BC. There was nobody in 1250 BC calling themselves any of these terms. So here is the Purim Haru, which dates back to 1250 BC. We cannot find this glyph forming any word of significance in the Americas. That means that if Tamare came from Mary, right? Then we should be able to find
the word,
a Native American sentence or a word which has the word Mary in it, which means
like
what this
anything.
means. To show
like
that the
one
word
Native
Marie
American
actually
word,
came from the
they
Native
should have
American
that word
word
in it, right?
Marie, and which language are we going to go to? Well, I'm waiting still, but if this farming tool is what was formed the word Tamari, which the word Ta, land, and Marie, which is water, as the Nile flood, then we should find these words meaning this in ancient American writings. And where is it?
Sweet babe.
Where can we find this word Marie in any ancient American, Native American sentence which represented waters and the flooding of the Mississippi River, which he said the Mississippi River is the Nile. Okay, so here we're going to look closer now. Now here we are on page 103 of the Book of the Dead, or the Purim Haru, which actually mentions the goddess Merit. You see, Merit or Merti are the goddesses or the goddess of inundation or the flood. I'm showing you inside of the writing, the actual writing that the native Cometians, Nile Valley people wrote themselves.
Watch this.
Where they wrote
what you say, Kenneth? I'll probably be in the museum smoking the blunt. Watch this, y'all. Kenneth is playing. I was at the Freedmen's. I went to the Freedmen's memorial, what they call the Freedman Cemetery. I was out Kennedy. I was out there smoking, getting my information, y'all. You hear me? You laughing, Kennedy. Look. Check me out, y'all. I do this work, man. Check me out, y'all. I do this work now. Don't get me wrong. Don't think I'm just another Joe Blow, y'all. Yeah, man. What you say, Kenneth? I'll probably be at the museum getting high. I think I do. Hold on right quick. Let me go back. That nigga say I'll probably be at the museum getting high, Kenneth. What you say, Kenneth? I'll probably be doing what, bro? Huh? Yeah, man. Yeah. Watch this. I go to connect with the ancestors, man. But watch this, Kenneth. Just because a nigga do street shit, a nigga got tattoos, gold teeth, wear jewelry, smoke weed, but I still get my motherfucking education on. I still try to learn, man. That's why I try to tell people, you ain't got to turn to nobody else to get no information, man. You can get your information on your own. Now, the only reason I be tripping and speaking against people like that, I be amazed by how these people be getting all these views and all these followers, and all they doing is lying, just like Tasha K. We need to start suing some of these fake ass people, lying to our people, man. The facts is there, man, for real. Man, they be lying to our people, man, for real. You hear me? Candace, they be lying to our people, man. You hear me? Yeah, man, check me out, y'all. Yeah, so I can hang this up. What they say, Black Wall Street Journal. Y'all ain't know anything about the Black Wall Street Journal. It's the Black Imperative. We are not anti-Caucasian or anti-Asian or anti-European or anti-Korean or anti-anybody else. We are unapologetically pro-black, Jack. You did? I live by that, man. Yeah, we ain't against nobody. We just love ourselves, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that love, Boss Lady Nichols, for real. Man, let y'all get back to the business, man. I'm gonna step back. As y'all see, man, I be trying to learn. I be trying to teach. I be trying to push something together, y'all, because it's more than just drama and and beef and ghetto. Hey, man, we got a deeper purpose than that, man, than all the hood shit, the ghetto shit, the bullshit. We can talk about the bullshit, but we're going to try to learn some shit too, man. For real.
About the goddess Merit, or Merti. This brother Camario.
Hold on, man. This nigga done fell asleep on me, y'all. This nigga right here, Ant, y'all. That's the nigga supposed to be my cameraman, man. Ant. Say, Ant, last night, bro, when I went to the cemetery, bro, went to the Freedman Cemetery, bro. You supposed to go out there and help me film, bro, at the Freedman Cemetery, nigga. You probably be scared of them people. You probably scared of dead people.
Has to be able to come
and
pull
nigga
out
fell
ancient
asleep.
Native American writings, which predate 1250 BC, which has this word in it. It's all about dates, because he said that this came from America. We started in America first, and then went to this area, and the real now was in Mississippi. Here's the.
I know y'all have heard that shit they be saying that the slave trade happened in reverse, all that bullshit. He finna kill all that shit, man. That fool say, nigga in the back, nigga in the background. Get leave me on in the background, nigga. Give me a view, nigga. Goddamn me. Come in one more time for you leave, nigga. Yeah. Help your boy grow, man. You know, if I grow, you grow, we grow, man.
The word Merti, I'm going to blow it up. There is Merti, which is represented by the serpent. And when you look at the word Merti again, you see the cultivating hoe right there. This is a word. This is a Mari R. That's a T, and the two eyes called the Owajit, which was a symbol of healing because it went back to Heru's eye being damaged and taken out by Set, and then the goddess Aset was able to heal his eye, so the eye became the symbol of healing in Kemet, called Owajit, and the word Owajit means green because she used herbs to do it. So over here we see. This goes back to the 3 seasons. See, the thing about Kemet is that when people try to steal Kemetic culture, right, and they try to insert it in their culture, like the Hebrews and some other people do, they don't have the full story with the word. They just have the word. But you see, if you have the word Marie, you have to have the goddess that goes with it, the season that goes with it, the story. It's a whole story that culminates.
They be saying stuff they don't realize. They got a whole story.
So these are the 3 seasons in Tamaray, which culturally coincide with Aset and Nebtet, the wives of Asar.
They be going by
the
stuff
north
that
and
look
south
alike.
of Kemet, because see, Kemet had 2 regions separated by the cataracts. There was a cataract given, which was the place where Asar was found, and when Asar was found there, the Netiru separated Kemet into 2 regions. One was called the Rez, and one was called the Meh. The white man calls it Upper and Lower Kemet, or Upper and Lower Egypt. There really wasn't any upper or lower. It was just the north and the south. So the goddesses of the flood of the north and the south were Merti. And we can see the farmer's tool in her name. There was no goddess of a flood in the Americas named Merti or Merit for the word America to derive from, as Corrimio has falsely stated that we were in America first, then brought the culture to Africa. If that were the case, we should be able to find the goddesses Merti of the 3 seasons written about in ancient American writing predating 2400 BCE. 2400 BCE now is the oldest spiritual writings in the world on a stone, and these are called the pyramid texts. The pyramid texts of Saqqara.
Goddess, if you think they just sitting up there drinking some regular tea, you got to be out your mind, Goddess. You crazy? Talking about they passing the teapot, man. Them boys up there on that TAC tea. They talk about it. That's that tea they got with that with the TAC in it. I let you make it about that 5G the other night. You goddamn me. You better be careful, Scorpion, because that 5G, man, I would turn that discussion upside down.
Which go back 2,400 BC.
Yeah, they drinking that good tea.
Native American culture.
Damn. Watch this. You know it ain't no regular tea. Ain't no nigga gonna be passing no regular tea around like that. You know it got to be something in that damn tea. They keep passing it like that.
Story that culminates together to make read. I need to see.
Damn, I fucked up,
you cannot take off the letter T and keep the Ameri part on the Ta, because Ta is an actual word. the word ta is an actual word meaning land. Amari is not a word.
Right.
So he wanted to take the ta. He said, "Look, take the ta off Marie.
How can you just
take
the
the letter T off Marie.
I just
what are you
gonna
left
take
with?"
the
He
ta
says,
off.
Marie. But you can't take the T off ta Marie because the T is a part of its own word. The word is ta, which means land. So you can't take the T off of land because then it's just It doesn't make any sense.
Mary, Mary.
It's Mary and ta. So Mary, Marie is not a word. What you're doing is called reverse reasoning, Karameo, and starting with your belief, then reasoning backward. The word ta is land and Mary is water. Here we are on page 815 of the Egyptian dictionary, and we see the word ta right here. Land, earth, soil, dust, ta. And then we go over here, back to 308, or sorry, the bottom of 815, and we see, there it is, see tamari, and the u makes it plural. That little dot on top of the A makes the A sound an E. So it's ta is one word, and mari is another word, and u makes the thing plural, like neter and then neteru.
Right.
Neteru. So tamaru, and as you look, you can see the word ta in there. There's the word ta right there. There is mari. And it says the Nile flood, i.e. the Egyptians, not the Americans. It's i.e. the Egyptians. These words are found in Medu-Neter. These are not found in any Native American stories. And to top it off, if you look closely in the word tamari, tamari-u, you'll see that there's you see the reed right here, and then you see this thing sprouting out. And then you see two lands. You see, you can't, this is all a part of the story. Right? This is all part of the two lands is a part of the story of Upper and Lower Kemet being separated because of the fight that Set and Heru went through. There was a separation of Upper and Lower Kemet starting at the cataracts and going up and down that made it the two lands. So sometimes the king would wear a crown of an upper, and then he wear a crown of lower, and then there was the crown with both of them. And that was the crown who ruled all of the land. It's two lands. That doesn't exist in America. Does America have two lands?
No.
So you have to say the whole story with it in cultural context. The two lands, and that little symbol right there, that is found on CXX X11 of the dictionary under trees and plant symbols. And under trees and plant symbols, it's the word flourish because it represents springtime when things are springing up. As we can clearly see in the word tamari, we have the plant sign 3, 13, 14, which is flourishing and deals with seasons and renewal pertaining to the Nile flood again. Can we find this word in the Americas in the same context predating the Medu-Neter? Since we came from America with this word Marie, we came from here, then we should be able to find this word here. Now here we are in the Papyrus of Ani, Chester Beatty, 5th volume, held in the British Museum, 1250 BCE, called the Specimens of the Axioms of Ani. And when I blow it up here, you see that same word that's in the word tamari, tree, right here, and it means seasons, the renewal of seasons. See, perform the festival of the Neter or of God, to renew the seasons, because you have to renew the seasons, these three seasons here, Aket, Pert, and Shamu. Aket was the inundation when the Nile flood would start. That was from June to September. Peret was October to February. That was the growing season. And then you had Shamu, which was the birth season or the harvesting season when you collected the work that you put in. That represented springtime, and that was March, April, because April is really the real New Year, which is the beginning when things spring up. Nobody would have a new year begin in January. That was celebration of the death god Janus, the god of the gates of death and life in Rome. Had nothing to do with us. Our real new year was in March, and that was the Shamu, which represented the birth, the harvesting. When you now collected, you planted the seed, you waited for the time, just like a baby. You had sex with a woman, you planted the seed, and then the baby comes out, and now you harvest, you reap what you sow. The baby comes out. That same thing takes place when you are a farmer. So that's the goddess Marit, was also called Marit Shamu. Marit Shamu. Here it is right here. I'm going to blow it up. You see, you have to make it has to all make sense in the cultural story. They need to show us the Merit Shamu. They need to show us all of this in the Americas that it was written about. Here's Merit Shamu, goddess of the inundation. In the south, 2 goddesses of the inundation. Merit Shamu, that line on the top turns the letter A into a U sound. So there's Merit Shamu. Why? Because Merit Shamu represents the birth goddess. That's the birth goddess, the harvesting, and that's why the last set of months in Kemet is called Shemu. It's literally called that, named after the goddess. The months are named after the goddess because it's all a part of a Kemetic story. We need to find this goddess in the word America. Where does this derive from? As Caremio has falsely stated, that we were in the Americas first and then brought the culture. If that was true, we should be able to find the goddesses, those goddesses here in these words here, writing predating 2400 BC, because this is when the writings, they come from the pyramid text, which is 2400 BC. So we'll go back to his video again, and you can see, I'll show the logical fallacies again, and then that will be it for that, because as he said, his challenge was only for 1 minute of his video. So I just literally took 1 minute. So here we go.
Here we go.
Open with.
The name of Agropolis is a friend of Agropolis. It also the name of Earl. The word
here we go.
SSMANLITTD, Cambridge, Massachusetts. All right, and it says sometimes scholar of Christ College, Cambridge. All right, and it says he was the keeper of the Egyptian and Assyrian antiquities, British Museum. So very important guy, scholar. This is volume 2. We're going to go into volume 1 and 2. All right, this is around 1920. All right. All right, so we're on page 815 in this book in volume 2. And we find here the word Tamera'u. Tamera'u. What does it say? People of the land of the Nile flood. We're talking about the Mississippi, Colorado River, Grand Canyon. What we're talking about here. That's the real facts. All right, so Dr. Hyde, when you're thinking about Nile River today. Man. So Tamera'u.
Man, do y'all check that? Hey, but you see, Morticia, do you see how when they teach and how they'll take something out or put something in that's not even there? It's like fucking word magic or something. And I'll be tripping like, so why do they even target our people with this? Why do they even try to trick us like that? This man just added Ara'u to this. That nigga, man, this word say Ta Mary. That nigga said it say Ta Ma Ara'u. Let me try to go back right. Y'all got to hear this, man, how this man just remixed this shit stuff, man. But they be having hundreds of thousands of followers, and, man, people really be into this stuff. This crazy, man. And they know it be a lie, and they still be rocking with it. Oh, damn shit. They be knowing the shit a lie, and they'll still rock with it. No, I can't hit. That's crazy, bro. For real.
Tamera'u. What does it say? People of the land of the Nile flood. We're talking about the Mississippi, Colorado River, Grand Canyon.
Mississippi ain't nowhere in there.
That's the real facts. Right,
so the Egyptians, why you get Mississippi from?
So Tamera'u, the people of the land of the Nile flood. Example, the Egyptians. Like Tamera'u is an Egyptian. Of the Nile flood of the Mississippi, Tamera'u. All right, now look at this. Remove the T, right, and remove the A in the bottom. What are you left with? You're left with Amaru, Tupac Amaru, the plum serpent. Remember, Tameru, Amera, Tameri.
Tupac Amaru.
He really reaching, Lord.
Now and Northeast Africa doesn't have.
Okay. So
that man said Tupac Amaru.
Take off the T. Amaru, Ika, Amariku.
Yeah.
And you can keep dancing.
Keep dancing on the word. Next thing you know, it's gonna be America.
Right. Exactly. You can keep playing with the word, but the interesting thing. The interesting thing is that the. Let me stop this. Stop share. I'm not sharing, am I? Or am I?
I mean, you're sharing, but we're not showing yet.
Okay. So here.
Do you see how this man just put the Mississippi? But I swear to God, y'all, that's why when I be having a little debates or the discussions with people, I be catching that little bullshit. You come in and talking about paleo. And I like, what do you know what the paleo period is? And I be like, that's why you gotta, I swear to God, I like to show people this kind of stuff because I'm not just trying to diss nobody, but I like to bang on bad information. And if it's anything I ever say or show y'all on here that's wrong, please feel okay to correct me and come on here and show me that I'm wrong. I'm open to all ideas.
He's taking a word and he's like, take off the T, Amaru. And what happened to the T? You can't take off the T because if you take off the T, then you no longer have the word land. It's land. Ta is land. Mary is one other word. So you can't take off the T and leave the A because there really is no A there. It's a symbol, which is, he's gonna like this. It's a flat land, which means earth. It's
just making up shit.
And then there's dots underneath, and it's a flat land and it's earth. And then that's the word ta. It makes the sound ta. There is no actual letter A in English, so you can't take off the letter T. It's just a symbol that says ta, and the other symbol says Marie. It's Ta Marie, two symbols put together. So, Karimio, you can't take off the letter T and then say we have Amaru, Amari, Amari. And then where'd the Ika come from, right?
Man.
Now the Ika, you have to make up the Ika. So Inca.
Yeah.
Ika, Ankeku, Ameriki. And then you start making up, and then now you have America. But the ancient people didn't. The ancient people didn't do all that. They didn't even need to. They didn't need to do all that.
Man.
The ancient people didn't do all that. America has its culture, right? Much respect to America, South America, where they brown-skinned people, of course. Peru, Colombia, the Native Americans, all of them. But the Native Americans were not trying to make themselves saying that they were the ancient Kemetians. We should not do that to a culture. Don't butcher a culture. That culture is its culture, and Kemet is its culture. If there was a case where the two cultures came together and one influenced each other, then let's research the facts of who influenced who and who was first. But don't just start making up things because you see a word in a dictionary and then you want to use logical fallacy reverse reasoning to make it up. So that's it. There's my 1 minute challenge. So my 1 minute, he said challenge. So my 1 minute challenge is where is the record of any Native American prayer pre 2400 BC talking about the word Mary, meaning in context what it means in the word Tamari, right? Where can we find that? We can just start right there. This is one challenge. I have 20 more, but there's the one challenge. So that was it. So that's my overview.
Firebomb.
Very simple.
But do y'all understand where I be coming from when I say I be seeing some amazing shit, man? I be like, damn, like that's crazy. Like people really be going for that stuff. And man, if I were to pull that man page up and show y'all, matter of fact, I forgot. I'm gonna show you like how many fucking followers these fools be having, and they just be making shit up, just pulling shit out their ass, man. Caramio, yeah. Man, this dude got 82,000 subscribers. You see this motherfucking number, man? Man got 82,000 subscribers and straight be running game on black people. He ain't even black. And that's crazy, bro. I be watching this stuff. I be like, so do people sit back and follow? Oh, he broke it all the way down. He real good. Do people actually sit back and think of, like, let me think of some shit I can tell black people to trick them and get them like some false hope or something. Because the facts out there, and that man got all those followers. That's crazy. And they just be lying. They be on the talking about the slave trade in reverse, all that old weird ass shit. And I be like, why? I guess because it's profitable shit. That shit is so crazy to me. And people act like they can't find, okay, let me share something with y'all. Like I said, when I went to Puerto Rico, I went because of a man. Like, I don't know what happened when these people be trying to go back and learn and study stuff, man. But I went to go to the village of the brother Arthur Schomburg, black and Puerto Rican. He was a guy when he was young. His teacher told him, he asked the teacher, he wanted to know about black history. And the teacher told him, son, y'all, you black, y'all don't have no history. Hashtag them on your lives, trying to mind if I got you, spiritual. I'm putting it on there. I'll be doing it later. I need to start doing it more. But watch this. Then he went on a quest. He went from Puerto Rico to over here in America. Arthur Schomburg, he got the Schomburg Library in New York City. He got one of the biggest libraries ever. He's dedicated his life to proving to us that black people had a history. See, a lot of us don't even know where a lot of these teachings came from. So y'all remember this man named Arthur Schomburg out of Puerto Rico. Matter of fact, I got something right here for y'all, man. A historian, man, for real. Arthur Schomburg. This was one of the first people who actually started teaching us the stuff we didn't know, because y'all remember for a long time, we didn't know our history. We didn't know nothing about nothing for a long time. Y'all walk with me one time, man. You remember I always talk about Arthur Schomburg. He got a village, man. He got a village in Puerto Rico.
Arturo Schomburg. On January 24th, 1874, Arturo Alfonso Schomburg was born in Santurce, Puerto Rico, to a free black Caribbean midwife named Mary Joseph. His father was a German merchant residing in Puerto Rico, Carlos Frederico Schomburg. As a young child in school, Schomburg was having a discussion with one of his teachers, who went on to tell him that African people had no history and contributed nothing to humanity. Schomburg did not believe his teacher and was determined to find and display the history of African people to the world. He completed his formal education in San Juan, Puerto Rico at the Instituto Popular, studying commercial printing. He also studied African literature at St. Thomas College. Schomburg moved to Harlem, New York, where he became...
I'm going to show y'all, I didn't go to Puerto Rico just to vacation, man. I'm going to show y'all, for real.
Became a member of the Revolutionary Committee of Puerto Rico, a committee founded by Puerto Rican exiles who united with Cubans to fight for their independence from Spanish rule. Unfortunately, the Cuban revolutionary struggle was unsuccessful and Puerto Rico became a territory of the United States. Schomburg was turning his attention to uncovering the history of Africa and its many accomplishments. In 1911, Schomburg co-founded the American Negro Society as well as renamed the El Sol del Cuba No. 38 Lodge to the Prince Hall Lodge No. 38. Afro-Puerto Rican was the term Schomburg used for himself after experiencing racism. He wanted America to know he was proud of who he was and his ancestral heritage. While studying as much of African history and culture as he could, Schomburg worked as a clerk in a law firm and as a Spanish teacher. In 1895, Schomburg married a woman named Elizabeth Hatcher. The couple produced 3 sons before her death in 1900. 2 years later, he married Elizabeth Morrow Taylor. They produced 2 sons before her death. Then he married Elizabeth Green, and they produced 3 sons. In 1906, Schomburg worked for the Bankers Trust Company before becoming supervisor of the Caribbean and Latin American mail section. In 1904, his first article was published in the Unique Advertiser, titled, "Is Haiti Decadent?" He then published a pamphlet titled Placido, a Cuban martyr, about Gabriel de la Concepcion Valdez, a Cuban independence fighter. In 1914, Schomburg became a member of the American Negro Academy, serving as the last president from 1920 to 1928. The Academy was created to unite African scholars to disprove racist scholarship while promoting the vastness of African history, culture, and contributions to humanity. Enveloped within the cultural richness of the Harlem Renaissance, Schomburg was heavily influenced by other black scholars while in turn influencing them to study and promote the history of Africa. In 1912, he was the co-editor of the Encyclopedia of the Colored Race, written by Daniel Alexander Payne Maury. In 1916, Schomburg published a bibliographical checklist of American Negro poetry. In 1925, Schomburg published the essay The Negro Digs Up His Past in the Survey Graphic magazine. The essay was powerful enough to influence the esteemed historian Dr. John Henrik Clarke to seek out Schomburg and become a...
Do y'all understand how powerful that is if you motivated a master teacher like John Henrik Clarke? See, man, I was on a mission, y'all. I don't know how to explain it, man, but like, watch this, man. Look, I'm over there all at the I'm at the forts, man. I'm all in there. You know, I was over there getting my information together for my presentation, like where they brought the slaves through everything, man. I was really over there trying to learn something. Like I'm one of them people I hear about this stuff so much, man. I be wanting to go see myself, man. For real. Like I be wanting to go see this shit for myself, man. For real. Nigga, I'm all on. I'm up here with the cannonballs and shit, man. Like I swear to God, like all this stuff was interesting to me. So like I went to the forts and shit I went to go see all the stuff that I was hearing about, man. I want to see how that stuff really went. I want to see how it really looked in there, like it's like they still got the old guns and stuff up in there they used to have. Like this where they brought the slaves through at the ports and stuff. It's gonna show you like man, I got a lot of footage. I just gotta put it together, man. Like they still got all the like the beds and stuff in there at the forts. But yeah, let me keep going.
Historian himself. The Negro Digs Up His History was also in the essay collection titled The New Negro by Allen Locke. In 1935, a librarian named Ernestine Rose, who represented the New York Public Library, purchased Schomburg's extensive collection of African historical information and artifacts for the Schomburg Collection of Negro Literature and Art, housed in the 135th Street branch of the New York Public Library. Right. Schomburg was so impressive and influential, a whole cultural center was named after him. The Schomburg Collection of Negro Literature and Art was eventually renamed the Arthur Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture. Schomburg was the curator of the Arthur Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture. He also served as the curator for the Negro Collection at Fisk University's library from 1931 to 1932. He became an honorary member of the Men's Business Club, became the treasurer of Loyal Sons of Africa. He became the past master of the Prince Hall Lodge No. 38, Free and Accepted Masons, and Rising Sun Chapter No. 4. Schomburg died in 1938, but inspired so many African people to learn about the greatness of African history and culture and the many accomplishments African people brought to the world. Schomburg traveled the world collecting African historical facts and information to display to his people and the world. He was named one of the 100 greatest African Americans in 2002 by Molefi Asante. Hampshire College and the University of Buffalo both have scholarships named in honor of Schomburg. He is one of the many African historians who laid the foundation for On the Shoulders of Giants to exist today. To the great Arturo Alfonso Schomburg, we proudly stand on your shoulders. For more information, make sure you visit www.ontheshoulders1.com or www.ontheshoulders.org, and make sure you visit my website.
You must didn't know, Spirit. Sharks can only get you if you're barefoot. Sharks can't get you if you got your socks on, fool. I thought you... Socks can't get you. They was all named Elizabeth. I didn't see that. But like that's what I be wondering, like when people be like talking about certain stuff, situations, I'd be like, damn, who are they learning from? I be wondering who be teaching them. Then you'll find out some shit like, oh man, they said they self-taught. Like they self-taught. Well, they teaching themselves some wrong information. Like there's such thing as learning from other people, man. You got people out here that will argue with a professor, and they probably didn't even graduate school. They'll think they know more than the professor know. And that's weird to me, man. Really, that's weird. That's weird to hell to me. And it's like all of these, like I get that. I get these people arguing, but I be saying, like, where the proof? Like, give me some proof. Show me something that make me believe you other than, because, man, they be having so many lies. And when you really know your history, you can poke holes in all that shit. Y'all boy, don't make me play y'all boy again that said he was from, E.T. is my cousin. Yeah, like a jackleg preacher. E.T. is my cousin.
And there's a mess. I guarantee you, I'm not going to show you, but I guarantee you, buy my motherfucking book and you're going to see every documentation thing ever. Hey, nigga, I read your book. That shit. Shut up, nigga. Read the shit. Read it. Buy it for free. I mean, no. You don't buy it for free, nigga. That costs about $50 for that shit, nigga. I'm going to show you everything, nigga. Research my documentation. You can't find it anywhere else in the world but with me, because I'm the smartest motherfucker in the world, nigga. I'm God. I'm God. I'm like base God, nigga. I'm everything, nigga, you ever dreamed of. I'm him. I'm everything. I'm reincarnated. I'm Jesus Christ. I'm a Hebrew Jesus Christ. I'm a Native American Jesus, nigga. Jesus lived right down the street from me, nigga. I know him. Me and him went to the same school. My nigga Jesus is from Philly. Jesus originally from Philly, not Bethlehem, y'all.
I got a video for his viewers. We're gonna try to make y'all think.
That nigga say I'm Jesus, nigga. That was a chick. Damn, what was her name? Man, I think I saved her video, y'all. I hope I saved her video, y'all. It was a chick, man. She was speaking about her little situation. You know what? I ain't gonna even go her. We're gonna talk about the OG till somebody tap in. I'm gonna let y'all like I kept saying, who is the Negro? Like I'm trying to see who are we? I want somebody to come up here and convince me that I'm a Moor. I want somebody to come up here and convince me that I'm an Indian. I want somebody to come in and convince me that I'm a Muslim or whatever it is, because I don't believe y'all right now. What happened? Man, don't tell me they getting, God damn. Did they kick me off? What is it called? Man, I don't know what was going on with that other link. That other link was tripping like a motherfucker, but I'm back. I don't know why StreamYard be tripping. We mess with me like that, y'all. 1 minute I'll be good. You up here Googling head ice. I know head ice. Head ice old school. Head ice throwback, man. Hey, I go back with them rap battles before they was putting them on YouTube. When we used to just be able to get them on DVDs, man. A lot of them boys go real hard, man. There's a lot of them guys. I love rap, so hey, Head Ice, he go hard too, you know. I done seen him lose a couple times, but he go hard. I don't know why this thing always be messing with me, but y'all remember that name, Arturo Schomburg, man. I'll be trying to tell y'all them little names so y'all can go research these people, because trust me, they got a lot of jewels that y'all can drop and y'all can use, y'all can learn from. I ain't trying to make nobody believe in nothing. I just like to teach the stuff that I learned. Damn, what was I finna play? Oh yeah, OG. History of the... Forgot I was finna play the OG. Oh, shit. God damn it. I hope it don't kick me out again, shit. What the nigga old man wear? What is called? Damn. Nigga, I hit that shit so hard I couldn't even see the screen no more, y'all. Damn, I just had the damn thing. I know y'all gotta work with me when I get high. Oh, damn. What y'all over there talking about? Nah, shit, I'm beating. It sound loud like that, man. That mic on that motherfucker a fool. I'm barely touching them, I swear. But let me do it. I ain't got to do it like that, nigga. I can touch the screen. I ain't got to do it to find it. You did? Yeah, all I got to do is touch the screen. Since you want to score on my button pushing. Well, fuck it. Since I can't find it, we're going to do this then. We're going to laugh some more then. Oh, I'm glad y'all understand. That's why I fuck with y'all, Mortician. Now I ran across this one too. I shared this little fiasco that I guess it's supposed to be a debate.
Yeah.
Y'all live. This shit, please.
You're live. Thank you for tuning in.
One of the guys, Alan Brown, Rob Owen off New Black Knowledge.
Put link in the chat. So put the link in the chat.
They was having a little debate with a guy.
Copy link. It says translated by the bookseller.
And the guy be having good information.
Noise and why. And Asiatic, etc. Let's blow this up. So
Look what is going on here.
Okay, this is real deep.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, all right, y'all ain't saying that.
Y'all, this right here was real deep to me because y'all heard a lot of people be lying and saying that we all this other stuff, but a lot of people don't know that we actually voted to be called what we're being called. Jesse Jackson didn't make nothing happen. Like they said, he didn't switch us from one status to another, none of this, but let me play the video. Y'all smart. Y'all gonna know what I'm talking about. Shit.
All right, man, what we got on here? We got Sneb on here. We got our brother Kamu on here. Right? So what we're going to do real quick is we're going to open up this newspaper. And this newspaper is called the Afro Baltimore newspaper. You're going to go through something real quick, and then we're going to discuss some things, and then I'm going to turn it over to my brother, Sneb. But let me pull this up real quick. Bang. So we are starting screen share once again. Hopefully nothing else goes wrong. Okay, so we're on screen share. So this is a newspaper that was written by Black people. So we're dealing with Black people voices now. It says the Afro-American has crusaded for racial equality and economic advancement for Black Americans for more than a...
You know what I love about this, y'all? Using Black sources. A lot of people don't go and find out what we had to say ourselves. Y'all dig what I'm saying? We could write. We had newspapers. We had all of that shit. We wasn't dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like they try to teach everybody. We wrote about our experiences too. That's who you need to go and read.
In existence since August 13th, 1892, and they're still around. John Henry Murphy Sr., a former slave who gained freedom following the passage of the Emancipation Proclamation of 1863, started the paper when he merged his church publication, the Sunday School Helper, with two other church publications, the Ledger. So you see here, the Afro-American arose to national prominence while under the editorial control of Carl Murphy. He served as its editor-publisher for 45 years. The newspaper was circulated in Baltimore with regional editions circulated. Is the reason I'm showing this because I need to show you the range of this newspaper so you can understand what I'm showing you next. Washington, D.C., twice weekly, and in Philadelphia, Richmond, and Newark. Once a week at one time, there were as many as 13 editions circulated across the country. The Afro-American status as a Black paper circulating in several predominantly Black communities endowed it with the ability to profoundly affect social change on a national scale. Now we're going to see the international effect of this newspaper. During World War II, the Afro-America stationed several of its reporters in Europe, the Aleutians, Africa, Japan, and other parts of South Pacific. Boom. That's done. I just wanted you to see this so you can see the range of this newspaper. Now, we get to the fun times. So this is my another resource. It's called Newspaper Archive. And you see what I have this titled? It's called Debate on Calling Self Negro, African, Asiatic, etc. Let's blow this up. So, look what is going on here. It says the Afro is going to settle this business once and for all as to the best race designation. Every reader has a chance to vote and an opportunity to win one of the 247 awards. Here is how the ballot stood at the end of the first.
Now, this ain't in the white people newspapers or none of this. Y'all remember, this is what's going on in the Black newspaper. This is what we're doing.
Week. So let me get this straight to you. The Black people wanted to understand what they should call themselves nationally.
Not the white man, not the Asian man, not the colonized man, not the people being taught what to call themselves. They took a ballot around the country. Now, you see, here are your things. You got Negro, you got colored, you got American, you got Afro-American, you got Asiatic, you got Ethio-African, and you got Moorish American, right? So, without going through all of
American
these,
got in
these
there one
clips,
time, didn't it?
these individuals picked the term Negro. Black people picked the term Negro. And in each one of these, they have telegrams. And the telegrams, you have to explain why you pick what you pick. They even had later on it expanded to African. And believe it or not, in 1932, a lot of people didn't choose African. They choose the term Negro because they related it to the river and the Niger. So let's get a little deeper. Let me get out of here. Give me 1 second. Got anything you want to say about that, Sanab? Nope, y'all got
I'm listening to you. I'm getting loaded up now.
So we're gonna have to zoom in on this bad boy. Let's get this bitch bigger. Come on, let's get bigger. Let's
Man,
get
I
him bigger.
love that newspaper.com.
Zoom in some more. Let's go. Give it to me. Give it to me more.
Let me in on them. I'm in the back room too.
All right, I'm gonna put you back in. So all of these are the responses that people are writing. So let's look at this. Miss Laura Snowden from Brooklyn. Colored. We are a large bunch of flowers. You can pick any color you want. So this is this person, Negro, because I have not had a chance to progress as other races. Interesting. Negro, I would rather be called Negro because that's what's in the Bible. So these are all people telling you their specific reasons on why they can call it. But guess what? Out of all of these responses, and I'm talking about it's hundreds of them. All these little things you see here are responses. And none of these people, none of them, I tell you, there's not 10 people in this that said that we are the original Americans, that we are the Aboriginal indigenous. So now, here's the black women who won, and we're going to blow them up.
And this is a question I got too, y'all. Why we don't never see the Indians talking about, writing about us being a part of them? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always us putting ourselves on them. Like, I can't find no history like this in the archives to where we had those kind of discussions about us in our writings. So there, I find that interesting.
So it says 240 Afro readers from all over U.S. share in a distribution of $600. So these are the women who won. Here's who they are. Can't probably see their face, but too much. But it says Negro wins by 1,399 votes. So here were the categories: Negro, Afro-American, colored American, American, Ethiopian, Moorish American, American Negro, Black, all others. They tell you how many votes, they tell you what it is, and Negro wins. So when we look at what Black people say for themselves, nowhere do we ever see them calling the majority of our people these indigenous tribes. If they are related to these indigenous tribes, they recognize them and they tell you, but they also tell you that they are people of African descent. So the onus is on the internet Indians who constantly run around from page to page, picking these weird tribes that no one never heard of in their goddamn life and talking about that's who we are. No, you was a liar. You need to show us the Black people speaking for themselves. This is where you will die. This is where you will get tomahawked. This is where you will get flipped upside down like Suge Knight holding ice out the goddamn window. You will die, literally, because you cannot show Black people newspapers, Black people magazines, Black people's writings, and no error claiming that the majority of them are these indigenous tribes. All right, Shanab, I'll pass it off to you, and then you said you had your computer in Where you at?
Yeah, so I mean, I can hop off on my phone. I'll hop back
All
on
right,
my computer.
I added you back. Let's
Hold
go.
on, let me get off my.
So you got there. So we on the African descent. Look at Cedric Brown with his little arrows in there. Oh, that's cute. Oh, look at the broken arrows.
That fool's stupid.
Little arrows up in there, man. We warming up.
Look at on your own and come
All
to your own
these is
conclusions.
pure facts,
But
man.
again, to continue the African descent piece, I want to speak about a man named Daniel Coker. Himself and some others and some missionaries in 1820 sailed
You gotta
to
save
Cherbourg
these
Island.
names. When y'all
And the
hear these
document I got
names,
before
that's
you
what I
is
do.
a printing
That's how I be
of the
knowing about a
journal.
lot of people and a lot of stuff.
Because the notion by the Afrocentric, I guess, people is that somehow the white man told you that you were from Africa and they're Black Europeans, or this history is somehow a fabricated caricature in order to substantiate some claim about a land being taken that was beat up out of the natives. So that seemed what confusing. But I wanted us again review this journal, and it's called the Journal of Daniel Coker, a descendant of Africa, from the time leaving New York in the ship Elizabeth, Captain Schomburg, on a voyage to Cherbourg in Africa. So again, this idea that somehow we were saying we're native aboriginals and they're taking our land and we really from Peru or Chile or wherever Lucy you're from, or wherever these bodies and skeletons that they somehow believe in when it benefits them, they use to substantiate they existed. So let's get into it. And I'll put the link in the chat once we get rolling here. And if you haven't yet, please like, share, and subscribe. So we're gonna get on to it. We ain't gonna waste no time. So the journal starts off in New York, February 4th, 1820. He says, this day great exertions were made to get our ship, the Elizabeth, commanded by Captain Schomburg, out by cutting away the ice. Our hopes are sanguine of getting to sea and very much comforted under the expectation. This evening, Mr. Bacon read Deuteronomy 11 and made some very appropriate and filial remarks on the same. And I believe his words were felt by most present. I'm fully satisfied with the qualifications of the agents. And one qualification I estimate very highly, that is their piety. My dear family rests with great weight on my mind, not that I distrust the promise of God. In conversion of our head agents observed that I should be preached occasionally on board. I felt sinking under the cross, and they church is. What was that? Here we go. It said, this day, after much of hard labor, we got to the ship out of the North River to the Whitehall. And I thought that sometimes Mr. Bay forgot that he was mortal. I had got back on deck and begged him to go below. We were only waiting for wind and then away. One of our colored friends from Philadelphia had to decline going and return on account of his indisposition of his family. He did it with seeming reluctance. We this day lost one of the children, 2 years old.
In a Sierra Leone African descent, and I'm sure you have something to add on to African descent. Then we're gonna go to Tulsa. We're gonna go to Choctaws. We're gonna go to slave.
Who then repatriates and lives
scientific information as well.
Y'all don't saying I Alexander Cromwell am not NOT putting in a plan for colonization.
Explaining now. I put the link in there.
That needs to be clear and understood, because this should be referred back to Alexander Cromwell. I'm going to keep repeating it. One of the pillars and foundations of Pan-Africanism, while sitting in Africa, is telling the ones who are in America, African descendants, I am not putting in a plan for colonization. Go ahead, Samantha.
My object is quite different. In fact, it is not a strict compliance with
An organizer of the National Negro Business League, the organization founded by the great Booker T. Washington, called it regularly Monte Carlo. There was another Black newspaper at that time called the Weekly Planet. By 1921, we could see how many Black people were there. It says 11,000 people out of a total of 98,000, right? So So then I'll go back to the source of this. You can see this book, right? Bang. We're gonna go into another one. We're gonna go back into my library. This book is called Black Wall Street. And this is very important because this is going to get into the individual who I want to talk about. And you see, it says the rise as there, but this goes in depth. Among the dynamic figures who centered the Green One District 35 square blocks was Atua W. Gurley. This is the guy. This is the man. This is the point person. So you have what is going on in the end of these or in these 1800s that are making black people go there. It's called the land rush. And it's one of the biggest land rushes in Oklahoma, where they put pressure on those original native tribes, pushed them out, and then they made this new homesteading thing where people could go buy land. And thus it was a rush.
Fact.
And the black people who were free and those who wanted to get away went there. Let's keep moving. A wealthy landowner from the deep south, born in Huntsville, Alabama, to feed slaves. He grew up in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, largely self-educated. He married childhood sweetheart Emma, a teacher. Gurley was serving and a cushy. So this individual was also a black Mason. You can stop me, Danny.
Oh, we can see it.
Stop what? I ain't do nothing.
I thought you said something. My bad.
No,
it sounded like your mic went out.
No, it didn't go out. It didn't go.
Oh, okay. That was on my end.
Okay. It says here he was also a Freemason, right? And it says with the Federal Postal Service during the Grover Cleveland administration, but resigned to participate in the Oklahoma land rush that you heard me talk about earlier. 2 decades before the Dawes Act opened the door to black settlers. Gurley risked his entire fortune on the move. When the moment came, O.W. and Emma raced amidst the maniacal stampede and found their spot of a choice after a historical 50-mile ride. So here's the picture of this black man. Let's blow him up. There you go. You see him live in the flesh. All right, let's keep moving. A driven person of seemingly limitless energy, Gurley ran for county treasurer and served as the principal of the local school. In the same period, he opened a general store. However, some part of him remained unsatisfied as he heard rumors of giant oil fields. Creating great wealth in Tulsa, 80 miles away. So you guys like to talk about these rich black people and how they come around because they was always indigenous. Nah, man, they went over here, and this is where you get your Sarah Rector and all of them. But she was a Muskegean. Yeah, we're going to get to this. Creating great wealth in Tulsa, 80 miles away, moving to the largest city, etc. Let's keep moving. Something here I wanted to get to. Gurley went on to build the 3-story buildings and 5 residences, purchasing another 80 acres of farmland, right? So here you'll see that he is the founder of the Vernon African Methodist Episcopal Church. See that, right? So I want to go to another church was brought there, and that's the Mount Zion Baptist Church. But there's another individual that we need to talk about, and I'm wrapping this up, and we're gonna go. I'll open it up to Danny if you got any questions. So this individual is called JB. He wanted to be known by his initials, John Baptist Stanford. Arrived in Tulsa only 2 years after Gurley with his wife, Augusta. The two men entered into a partnership dedicated to the district development. Despite some differences of approach, they shared the mutual distrust of white people and accordingly began the Green One practice of employing only their initials. For whites to address black men by their first name was considered a form of derision. Ooh. So you see Stanford, see his picture right there. It says, working and saving, Cecil eventually obtained the liberty of his entire family, including his son, JB, the firstborn son, grew up to become a University of Indiana graduate. So you see the individual, but there's something I think is important that fits this day and time to see how these people did this. It says, despite the relative safety of Greenwood during its development, Stanford was well aware that in Oklahoma, it was not considered the crime for a mob to kill a Negro. He was an unconstrained voice against Jim Crow in Oklahoma. So they made these specific codes after these people came and they start dealing with segregation, and they start telling people where they could go. So these individuals are actually forced to be in this specific position. And inside of this position, the only way that they can make it is building with each other. And typified the aggressive Greenwood response to racial insult. The occasional white visitor was astonished at the black lack of tolerance for remarks and epithets that would have elicited bowing and scraping into other communities and by other men. Stanford believed that a general success was to be achieved in the black community through the pooling of resources, collaboration in which fellow entrepreneurs were mutually supportive. As had Gurley, Stanford purchased large tracts of acreage in the northeastern section of Tulsa, subdivided them, and sold them exclusively to African Americans. A number of other speculators followed suit. In the spirit of mutual support, business was serviced by colleagues from the community and their establishments instead of relying on resources from white Tulsa. One company, the Acme Brick Workers, reaped the benefits of serving as the primary brick construction service. So this is very interesting. I'm not going to go through all of this, but here's another book that is good. In the Death on the Promised Land. Here's the Stanford Hotel. But it's very important to understand that land grab and how these people got here. And Bottom Kitten and the rest of them talking about the Africans hijacking the Tulsa. You out of your goddamn mind.
I'm saying this just facts. The man just reading the book saying about what happened. I'm lost.
You also heard them speak about people being slaves, right?
I'm trying to figure out what is wrong with what this man just said.
Hold up, give me a second. We're gonna take a look at something real quick. We're gonna take a look at this real quick. We're gonna throw this up here real quick. So, you know, these guys like treaties. They like to talk about these
things. That was the wrong emoji. I swear.
And all that other nonsense. So I just need to solidify this point. And then
because you were saying like that's why I don't share my ethnicity.
Brother Kamu after
Man,
this.
I don't give.
So
hey,
here,
I wouldn't care what nobody didn't like about me. I am what I am, man. You know I'm high. Shut up. That's what I'm loud. But shit, I forgot where I was at. Let me get to when these dudes start calling in. If you don't like that, let me get to when the dudes start calling in trying to debate them then.
It's gonna show different words for that though.
No probs. You know which song I'm referring to.
So there's Shango right here.
Yeah.
Shango.
I'm gonna give you the African word. Ready?
Shango.
The only good Indian is a dead one.
More bloodthirsty, active, and revengeful.
I read one thing from this link I'm about to text you.
All right, just text it to me, and I'm gonna.
And then I'm gonna go to each record that each recognize as formal slaves as tribe members. So you have people, well, you have internet Indians saying that the people who were enslaving the black people was Indians themselves. But as you can see, it's a clear distinction of people that they enslaved, and they wasn't enslaving themselves. They were enslaving people of African descent.
Fact.
Among the 5 tribes, the Seminoles most easily adjusted to the post-war circumstance, quickly assimilating the former slaves, which are the Africans, into the tribe. Of other 4 groups, the Cherokee did their best in educating their freedmen, which are of African descent, at least at the prime. Hold on, you move it too fast. I go back over. Educating their freedmen. Okay, I can see it. At least at the primary level, maintaining 7 schools in 1872. However, not until 1890 did the Cherokee provide a high school for the formal slaves, people of African descent, not people who always been here before Columbus came and etc.
Right.
The Creek also provided a basic education with 5 schools in existence in 1874. In 1888, the Creek Council gave freedmen, again, I can't stress this enough, people of African descent, the task of operating a school near Muskogee. It opened in 1883 in Tallahassee Manual Labor School, and the Creek freedmen ran it with the help of the American Baptist Home Mission Society. Also in 1883, those two groups established a second institution known as the Evangelical School on the old Union Agency groups established in a second. I read that already. In groups in the Muskegee. The Choctaw failed to provide education for its former slaves of African descent directly, but promoted the schools through various missionary organizations, usually using federal funds. The freedmen supplied the building, and the missionary
this
groups
is the I'm just
provided
like
the
to tell
teaching,
people
the teacher and supplies.
yes,
The
those
first of these
Native
schools
Americans, they
ran by the
enslaved
Baptist
Africans,
Mission
so
Board,
it's a big chance that you might
opened
have
at Bogey
Native American
Depot
in your
in
DNA because hell,
1874. The
everybody
building
seemed
later
to be fucking
burned.
their
Eventually,
slaves,
several high schools.
having sex with their slaves.
Such as the what I can't really see that Tuscaloosa.
Yep. You
Tuscaloosa
good.
Academy in I can't really see it. Tallahassee or Oak Hill Mission near the Red River were established in this way, but they did not last. Wait, it was moving. They did not last past the 1890s. The Chickasaw did not provide any support for the schools of the former slaves, and the freedmen proved unable to meet
the needs themselves. Yeah. Damn.
As was true throughout the South, most of the schools for the Freedmen Indian Territory were small, poorly built, and lacking in equipment, but the people involved worked diligently to provide basic literacy skills for the former slaves. The effects provided the frame foundation for the future growth of the literacy and the education among the freedmen in Oklahoma. So we have a distinction between schools. You have the freedmen schools, and you have the Indian boarding schools. So this is what I wanted to touch about, because you got a lot of people saying,
I submit to you, my friend, that not only did that happen, I submit to you that there was an African right in the middle of that damn Indian territory who not only ran the Indian territory.
Excuse me, my brother. Excuse me. There is no talking on here. This is not Clubhouse.
No. I'm
need to provide a source.
I'm going to do that. You're going to stay on the same website that you're on, which is the Oklahoma History website. You're going to go to the search box and you're going to type.
Let's do it. Let's show people how you research, because I think we have this problem in the community. Let me go back here. Only the internet Indians though. Yo, when I was reading about those boarding schools, Danny, I ain't gonna lie, that stuff is crazy. They just found something in Canada with like 200 something bodies, bro.
Yeah, they did them dirty.
They did them
there's a
filthy,
search box,
bro.
There's a search box on there, right? See that search box?
All right,
hold on. I want you to type an African word in there. I'm gonna give you the African word. Ready?
Shango.
Shango. S-A, no H. Just type Shango. That's it. S-A-N. Yeah. See if anything comes back.
Shit.
Uh-oh.
Let me see. Which one?
Shango, the first. Shango's on the doors rolls. We got problems.
The first one?
We got Africans on the doors rolls. We got
the
problems.
first one?
If you want to read the doors rolls, sure. I never even read that one.
Now, which one you want?
I want to do, you can get particular. Shango, I said there was an African in the middle of Indian territory who was running the stuff and had a college. Can you please look up Shango? If it doesn't come out through the search, took Baptist College at the end. Shango Baptist. Oh, you see Shango all over the place on the Oklahoma site. Interesting. College. Is true story and just making up some nonsense? Uh-oh. Can you click on that first link? Let's start there. African building a college in Indian territory. Gee willikers. Could you read that?
It says Langston University, formerly Oklahoma Colored Agricultural and Normal University, is the only historical African-American college still operating in Oklahoma. However, many schools of higher learning cater to blacks residing in the state. slaves brought in by American Indian tribes were followed by a post-Civil War African-American migration that lasted into the 20th century. The development of all black towns and even a push for a black state accompanied the establishment of these schools. Ooh.
Said
After
the
slavery,
Oklahoma State History Site.
that's right.
Go ahead, brother.
That's
Keep going.
right. After slavery ended, many African Americans were preoccupied with the education of their children and pushed for more educational opportunity at all levels. Each of the 5 tribes included African American school at the end of the 19th century. The Creek patronized Pecan Creek and Tallahassee missions and various neighborhood schools. The Cherokee operated the Cherokee Colored High School and various neighborhood schools. The Choctaw maintained the Oak Hill Industrial Academy, Tuscaloosa Academy, and various neighborhood schools. The Chickasaw and Seminole had smaller schools. And the Choctaw and Chickasaw Nation, the promotion of the operation of black schools met prejudice and self-resistance. Otherwise, there was an overall lack of basic education opportunities. Freedmen, which helps explain the death of higher education institutions. Damn, man. That shit keep popping up on my thing, man. All right. Where we at? Okay, here we
remember,
are.
I said an African. I'm still standing on it.
All right, here we go. Now we looking for the source here. So as we go right here, it says Sango. Let me underline this. Baptist College in Muskogee and Oklahoma-based college for girls. Okay, but who's the guy Sango? What does that mean? Then I need another source. This is not good enough.
A.G.W. Shingo. You read a book saying that the people out there like to use the what do you call them? The letters of their name. A.G.W. Shingo was the runner of the towns. I have pictures if people want to see pictures of him too. Shall we? I mean, he was an African prince, by the way, who was
Hold on, let me put it on here. Hold on. It's funny that your video pops up on the first page of Google, my brother. Your video pops up on the first page of Google, my brother.
Yeah,
All
I just
right,
seen
so
that
here
too.
we go right here. If we just do a Google search, you will see A.G.W. Sango was a lawyer, newspaper editor, school founder, and prominent leader in Muskogee, Oklahoma. He
So we
founded
have a Shango who was the prominent leader and African and Indian Terry. Keep going.
He was born. You want me to read his history? Like, what's up with this guy?
No, you could show. I said he ran shit. Is I'm lying? He got a Wikipedia page. Gee Willigers. Let's read further.
Yeah, I see him. Hold on. Let me go back over here. What's that? Oh, no, we don't do Facebook posts. We don't do that. I don't know,
look at
man.
that guy.
Damn,
so
son.
Yep, you see all those pictures of Shango? Mm-hmm. African prince, son of an African. There you go. Maybe it's in there.
Nah, it ain't in this.
No problem.
That's why you gotta come ready, bro.
Come ready.
You ain't sourced up,
you trying to throw me under the bus? Hold on.
Yo, where's the source that says he a prince, bro? I don't see it, bro.
Bro, I'm the wrong dude. You want his whole family. The Shangos is one of the most
man, we got 300 people in the building.
I don't give a goddamn.
People in the building.
And
this is not, I repeat, this is not, we just talking. We showing everything.
Did I show you the man Shango in Indian territory? Would you like to Google the name Shango and see where it comes from?
All right, let's do that.
Where does the name Shango come from?
Let's do that.
Oklahoma?
Sango or Shango. So Shango, it's gonna say Shango, and it's gonna show different words for that though.
No probs. You know which
so
Shango I'm referring to.
So there's Shango right here.
Yeah.
Shango. Shango.
He was the first king about of the Oyo Kingdom. There's a book about, is that about him? There's a book about him, folks, for those who want to look up his lineage. Give the name of the book. Scroll down.
He was the first king of Oyo Kingdom.
Oh, I forgot. We got our resident spear chucker on the line, folks. You can tell us who Shango is. Say it again, brother. We don't need your Wikipedia or sources.
We see it right here.
He's a
Shango was the
deity.
third. Shango was the third alphaland or king of Oyo. Boom, we got it right there.
Yeah.
All right. So
in the 19th century, he's the lineage of the Oyo Kingdom.
Right. So
he's also on the freedman rolls, correct? Why? Muskogee, of African descent. Whole family kept the name and kept the history of Shango, by the way. See?
All right. Yep. So let me see something. Somebody keep telling me somebody trying to get in, but I don't see nobody. That's Cujo. I gotta text somebody something. Hold up, give me a second.
Well, somebody explain to the late people in the chat. We've gone over this. There's nothing that says anything about returning to Africa.
All right. So what we're gonna do real quick is we're gonna have a little intermission before we come on for the 284 people in the building.
No, 315.
We're gonna have a little intermission, and we're gonna get right back to the business. We're gonna start with Harriet Tubman. We're not gonna go too much into her, but we're gonna go into something to slap up Ding Lie Away. Ding Lie Away. We're gonna do the Amistad. We're gonna do some slave ship revolts. You know what I'm saying? We got some stuff to go on. Hold up, let me get this. Come on, man. Come through.
Cujo, big up, man.
Hold on. So I'm gonna share
big up, nigga.
I'm about to share my screen.
And don't come at me with that Virginia.
Kings in here, and oops, and then we'll be ready to rock. I'll be ready to rock and roll. Oops. Okay, so let's go here. Okay. Now, check this out, y'all. It says a great deal can be learned by comparing maroon societies in time perspective. For example, the date of a community's original formation as well as the length of the survival seem everywhere to be major influences on the form of its political organization. Communities formed in the 16th century, pay attention to these dates, or 17th centuries seem to have differed from those formed later, both in the types of men they chose as leaders and in the models used to legitimize their authority. Before 1700, the great majority of maroon leaders on whom we have data were African born. Before 1700, the great majority of maroon leaders on whom we have data were African born. Moreover, 4 of the 6 major leaders, Ganga Zumba, Domingo Bayo, Gango Bayano, claim to have been kings in their African homeland.
Since y'all been waiting.
Yeah, we're gonna look at some of these people, but
I
there's
didn't
somebody.
know y'all thought that. I should have explained that. Hold on,
One
y'all.
of
I
his
should have explained
relatives.
That.
So that's
Now
one of
watch
them, right?
this.
Let's go to the next person.
Like, okay, still going?
What happened?
Oh,
No,
one
I
I
thought you was
participating
finished.
in the lesson. Oh,
No, I'm almost done right now. I'm gonna just do one more. I'm not gonna go through all of them. I want to put UNESCO here.
Y'all know where UNESCO is?
Okay, so this guy name is Benkos Bio.
Like people be talking about the information. UNESCO is like a United Nations, the heritage site. So they keep all of the information from way back, and it's verified information.
Something because it's very interesting, and I can't find it right now. Okay, so I'll just put it here. I'll just go to this one for now. What do you mean you checking my browser? Man, get out of here. I want to go to one of these things because I want to show y'all how this looks. Looks crazy. So this becomes like the UNESCO site. Damn. Nope, not this one. Where the hell did it go, man? Here we go.
UNESCO stands for the United Nations Educational
So
Science and Cultural
this place here,
Organization.
San Basilio de Palenque, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. and they have trips that go there. This site is one of the first places in Colombia that becomes a free state. So here you see Benko, known as Domingo Bayo, was born into a royal family that ruled over the Basangil Islands off the coast of what is today Guinea. He was seized by the Portuguese slave trader Pedro Gomez, sold to a businessman Juan Palacios, and later after transportation to what is now known Colombia and South America. Sold again to the Spaniard Alonso de Campo in 1596, etc. He established the Maroon community of San Basilio de Palenque. Now, these are the things that are here. What's interesting at this place is that they speak a Pacific language that is not nowhere in the Americas, as being sort of like the Gullah have Pacific words, but it is a UNESCO site because of the intangible culture, and they still speak Pacific Bantu languages in that area. So, see the statue of them. So I gave 2 of them. I'll turn it over, but it says in 1713, it became the first village in the Americas by decree from the King of Spain when he gave up sending troops on futile missions to attack their fortified mountain hideaway. So these are the people we are pointing out. We're pointing out these people, the people of African descent in the 1500s, as the brother said. Yeah, they was over here putting in that pain to free the people. But you have something to say, Danny? What you got?
Yeah. One, Synap still on here?
I don't know.
All right. Who's still on here?
Yeah,
okay, Synap. What is your Cash App?
Synap Sankofa.
Because either Centavo or somebody in the chat.
I put it in the chat.
Hey, man, one of y'all
what
send
is
it.
Rob Warren's? Or what is Kamal? What is your Cash App?
I ain't gonna even stop it. I'm gonna let them say their stuff, man.
All right. Rob Warren, what is your Cash App?
I gotta put it in the chat.
Oh, damn, son. He dropped to 111? How the hell would jump from 200 to 111?
Hold on, fella. Don't worry about it. Who cares?
All right. So it should be loading up now.
.com, archive.org. As you can see, written by whom?
Himself.
Let's get to it. This will be cool.
See, this is what killed me when people be talking about fact checking or whatever. Hey, that's why I always say, this is from the word of mouth of Black people. And when it amazes me that a lot of this stuff I didn't even know existed. I didn't know we was writing and doing all of this stuff because I was never taught that.
Quick.
Ooh, we need that Don DeMarco shit.
Let us go
Don DeMarco.
Let us go to what himself says about himself, his family. These are the only things ever mentioned about Richard Allen's family. In this case, who does it come from? Himself. So we should take that as fact about his own family. And let's see what it says. Hey, look at this. It's the 5th page. We can read this together, folks. I was born in the year of our Lord, 1760, on February 14th. A slave to Benjamin Chew. Was Benjamin Chew his father? Of Philadelphia. That would have made him a Black European if Benjamin Chew was his actual father. Let's read on. My mother and father, Benjamin Chew is not his father. The only thing mentioned about his father is my mother and father, and 4 children of us were sold into Delaware States near Dover, and I was a child and lived with him until I was upwards of 20 years of age, during which time I was awakened and brought to see myself poor, wretched, and undone, and without the mercy of God must be lost. I'll go further to page 6. My mother and father, not Benjamin Chew, lived with him for many years. That's the former slave owner. He was brought into difficulty, not being able to pay for us, and mother having several children after he had bought us, he sold my mother and 3 children. My mother sought the Lord and found favor with him and became a very pious woman, yada, yada, yada. Friends, this is from him about his family. Nothing in this says European. Nothing in this denotes mother or father, but we have just uncovered is a liar. Nothing in any primary source of any merit will state that Richard Allen was in any way a Black European.
Can we go a little further, Danny? Can we talk about what was his name on the records? Was it
His
not
name
Negro
on the
Richard?
records was Negro Richard.
Hold on. Bottom kitten, the bottom kitten that's in the we trying to give him some catnip right here or some meow mix so he can come out. You know what I'm saying? He said that his
like a rap
family,
battle.
his family
Explorers who come. This
like this right here is
but
golden
I'm
right
going
here.
to
Hey, it's
read
4:30, y'all.
what
I'm
the
still
brother
up
asked
to
me to
talk.
read.
This part right
And
here, I
I'm gonna be
love
reading
this
from,
part.
can I highlight right now? Yeah, you can't see me
Scorpion,
highlight.
you're gonna
But
learn
it
with
says
me today,
articles.
Scorpion.
5th month, 17th, 1787. We, the free
African
Africans.
Society.
We, the free Africans, even better, I'll go up to the beginning. Whereas Absalom Jones and Richard Allen, two men of the African race, this is written by Richard Allen and Absalom Jones, by the way, calling themselves two men of the African race. I pause here for dramatic effect so you can take a screenshot. Richard Absalom Jones and Richard Allen, two men of the African race. Let's go further. That's just in the first sentence, friends. So now what we'll go is we'll scroll down and we'll see that we, the free Africans, call themselves African again, and their descendants, this is who we are. We are not born in Africa. We are descendants who the Free African Society was representing, taking care of, and accounting for were not just the free Africans, but also their descendants. Where were they? In the city of Philadelphia. Are we clear on one, who Richard Allen says he was, a man of the African race, and who the people in his organization was, who were the free Africans and their descendants? See how this is all working? Richard Allen, in this document, calls himself a man of the African race. So we know by Richard Allen's own words that he called himself a man of the African race. We also have Richard Allen's own words from his book, where he didn't mention European. My question, how is he a Black European? These his own words. Ain't no book or nothing.
And them people
This
really
is
been,
called
and those
primary
people really tell
source
people that. They try to say he was
documentation,
a Black European.
and
Y'all probably heard
with
him
that
say it.
comes annihilation.
Bang Calloway and all them be saying they're Black
I'm
European. The fuck Black European. Boy.
Yeah,
they didn't
son, that's right. You can pass the mic back to the guys.
They didn't read. They don't be reading these people. They own writings.
Yeah, Black European. No, Danny. No. Since you
Nah,
on the
don't keep
Black
that,
European.
Jack.
No. You can't disappear now. Don't even pass the mic
Come
back.
on, man. I want to go. I got my reefer over here.
Nah. You can get your people. Just show one more thing, right? Because you did this presentation yesterday, right? So we were told by Bottom Kitten, who doesn't want to take his meow mix and his kit and his whatever, the catnip, to come pull up, that the Black Dutch are the individuals who invaded New York. Can you please pull up the seal of New York of 1625 and go through the allegorical.
All right, this is
let's go.
fun because the people who visit New York, whatever, this is fun. So I always teach this when I do my tours. I do this, and this is what I teach to the kids at school for them to learn the history of New York. So I'm gonna then try this. The Cash App is History Man 718. Rob Barnes is $ Rob Bourne and $ Seneb Sankofa. Mine's History Man 718. However, now that that's out the way, you said the seal. These are the old seals for shits and giggles. I know you Indian bashing, but these are the old seals right here. It's kind of dope. But we're gonna get to this one right here, right? Okay, so let me just click on it, and then I'll break it down for you.
I think y'all probably.
So, friends, what we have here is not only the seal of New York City, but we have the history of New York City. And I want to show you how it's done.
I wonder who's saying this New York City seal before.
Explorers who come. This is a symbolic of a knickerbocker. These particular pants at the time were called knickerbockers. This is where you get the New York knickerbockers from. This is the Dutch sailor that is coming to what will become known as New Amsterdam. What he has in his hand is called a plummet. This plummet goes into the water to measure the depths of the water. People can look up plummet to see an old picture of it. Okay, so we have him out the way. So the thing is, why would this Dutch guy come here for what?
Right.
He came here
for
this right here, friends, in the middle of the New York City flag. And there's two of them. He came here for beaver. This was the purpose of the Dutch man coming to New York City
to get
for
the beaver.
This animal that Henry Hudson had found.
That was they trade
fur, and there's something called Castoria, I believe. You can look up. Some of you old heads might know castor oil. So they use some of the secretion from the beavers as a cure-all, and it's still used to this day. Sounds nasty, but it's true. Look it up. Castoria or Castor, you find it under, right? So where did he get the beavers from? He traded trinkets and stuff from Europe with the Native American people. That's what's symbolic here, right? And you'll see this Native American person dressed in different headgear depending on the year that you have it. You also see this year of 1625 change, and some of them, those from New York City, will notice on the public schools in particular, you're going to see the year 1664. So let's get there. Just give me some time, Rob. I'll make this as quick as possible. 1664 is the year that the English take over New York City. There was a debate on where they start this history for us and what should be represented. So it was initially 1664 on the seal, and then it was changed later to 1625 to being more in line with when the Dutch came to New York City. So you're going to see this date fluctuate depending on what you may look at between 1625 and 1664. So this Dutch man came to New York to meet these Indians so they could trade beaver. The barrels are for symbolic of industry. New York became the bolting capital of America and the only place where they allowed to separate wheat. Somehow, I mean, historians still trying to figure out why New York, they think it was the ports, but also New York was known for being able to separate flour and all this other shit, and it became a bolting capital, way too nerdy for this group of Negroes. So obviously, or not obviously, this, friends, is not a windmill, believe it or not. But for sake of this, I'm not gonna go into it, we'll call it a windmill, but it's not. It's a longer story. With that said, that's the breakdown of this, Rob Warner, who they are.
Is that Indian representing the Lenape?
That Indian does represent the Lenape.
Oh, can we get another picture so we can see the copper-colored Indian? Could you please, go to another picture so we can get a close-up on this?
I can get you, here's a color picture. Well, on the seal, this is the actual New York City flag, peoples. So it's not in color, but there's a color version here. As Maru would say, them your peeps.
Is that a black Dutch sailor?
That is not a black Dutch sailor. There were none.
So they came over here, they wanted that beaver, and they was using beaver for money transactions, yeah?
Yes, the beaver was used as money transactions, correct. As well as what is on this Native American's belt right here, and people can look this up. This is called wampum. You might also find it as Sewan, S-E-W-A-N, or wampum, W-A-M-P-U-N. This was the money right here on his belt, along with the beavers. Beavers were the currency at this time.
Interesting. So those barrels represent flour, yeah?
Those barrels represent two things. They represent industry as well as flour.
And that thing that he's holding in his hand, does that represent some kind of nautical device?
Yes, these two things are this one right here, because they changed it. This one right here is a crossbar, I believe the name is. And this was actually to look up and judge to gauge the stars and where you were. Let me just see if that crossbar, let's put star after, let's see what happens. I'll get the exact name of what it is. It's a nautical symbol where they held it. Where's the picture? I'll go back.
Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Here,
Wait, hold on. Let me just get, oh, damn, why did I do that? Okay. So this what they would say, we'll hold it up and they would be, I guess it would focus your eye and take away some of the light or something like that so they could look at the stars and navigate and get some idea of where they were. So that's what this tool is. This tool that you're referring to, like I said, is called a plummet.
Yo, relax, bro. You can.
Where's Sanab? New York is not a capital.
See, this what y'all do. This what y'all do.
And before you finish, everybody that's listening, when you hear that intro that I'll be playing, that's from this brother right here. Thank you for the Aboriginal ultimate motherfucker.
Wait, hold on. Have you got the picture? Where the hell is the picture at?
Hold on.
History Man 7-1.
Anger.
You not know who Gaspar Yanga is? Who made
I've heard of the name.
the first black revolutionary there? Who got the first settlement in the Americas? Yeah, that guy.
Where's Gaspar from?
Okay, let's go right
Africa,
now. Hold on.
fool.
We like to source up over here. We don't just talk over here.
Give me
1 second. Give me 1 second, bro.
He's not a Gaspar. It's not a black Indian. Where people getting this from?
We gonna get you right.
I got videos on Gaspar
Here's
too.
Gaspar Yanga.
They
On
talking
the
about
screen, you see Gaspar Yanga 1544.
And that's in South America, y'all.
Liberator of the
In Mexico,
Americas.
down in Mexico.
The first liberator of the Americas. Gaspar Yanga led one of colonial Mexico's first successful slave uprisings and would go to establish one of America's earliest free black settlements, rumored to be royal lineage from West Africa. Yanga was a slave worker in the sugarcane plantations of Veracruz, Mexico, in 1507, along with another group of followers. You can keep reading on about him, and every source that you ever pull up on him, they're gonna tell you this is where the man is from.
So it says rumored to be West Africa. Is that correct? That's all I'm asking.
That's one part of it.
Okay.
That's one part of it.
No, scroll down. Rumored to be of royal lineage, not of West African.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
So this is where we at right now. So I'm surprised you don't know about Gaspar Yanga if you want to talk about Mexico and early revolts dealing with black people. And that starts one of the first settlements there. And they got a treaty there. And this same concept, which I showed earlier, happens all through the Americas. And I'm gonna go here so I can show you this. So it seems like you're missing things, and we're gonna go here. This book here is called Maroon Societies, right here. You go to the front so you can see the source where we at. Maroon Societies, rebel slave communities in the Americas. Let me go back here real quick. Let me put kings in here. And we went through these kings, and yeah. So here we go. A great deal can be learned by comparing maroon societies in time perspective. For example, the date of the community's original formation before 1700.
To me, a lot of this shit is like simple mathematics, though. Let me see. Yeah, man, it's finna be 5 o'clock, y'all. I'm finna get out of here, man. But I appreciate y'all for sitting up this late rocking with me like that. But there's more to come, man. I'm finna lay down, man. Peace, man. Much respect to y'all for coming. I tried to rock with y'all, but eyes ties, boss. Hey, spiritual, you in the game talking about happy 444. I knew it.